Like Broadway. You're finally wearing the glitter jacket.
Yeah, I did. I
never wore it on the show before.
Since it's our first show tonight.
This is our first show on Village Connection Network. I'm really excited.
Way to go. Give me 5 on that. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Good evening. How are you guys?
Heather Lee, how are you, sweetheart? We're shipping
I'm doing
shirts
great.
away.
I had to call in because I just wanted you guys to pay extra shipping to get my shirt here.
Thank you, Heather.
Actually, I'm going to give them to your father, and he's going to ship them to you.
Oh, in that case, I'll never get it.
Brought up a really good point, Darren.
Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to the Business Powwow with Darren and the Music Man. It sounds like somebody's in heat. That's good.
How are you, Music Man, this week?
I'm really interesting question.
That's a fantastic question, Norman.
Wow. See, I got fantastic. You just got good. I got fantastic. What kind of toy did she like? I'm kidding.
Come on, he always goes there. Were you drinking before the show? What are the cardinal rules? Two things you never do to a woman. You never say they're old, and you never say they're happy.
I'm never going to see her again. What's the difference?
Wait a second.
We both know I won't be seeing you again.
You know Lauren for a long time.
Yes, I do. By the way, this is a Yankee station.
It's a Yankee station. John, it's a Yankee station.
All right?
Fourth extravaganza.
Hell no.
Hi, Eileen. Eileen's on.
Hi, Eileen. Eileen Karina is on.
Yeah,
hi, Eileen.
Great question. We have a lot of undulations out in the field. Undulations.
Is that a one?
What the hell is undulation? Fred, don't use big words. John's not calling you chicken.
Did you just call me a chicken?
I called you a chicken. I did call you a chicken.
You called me a chicken.
I called you a chicken. Hey, right? So this
Help.
I gotta give him a cough button, Jim. What do you think?
A cough button would be a good idea. Consider that a good question that he asked?
Great question.
There you go. I got
Pythons and brains.
But our own John
Hell no.
from Hazlitt provided the confetti.
Help.
I gotta give him a cough button, Jim. What do you think?
A cough button would be a good idea. Consider some water. There you go.
There you go. How are you, Music Man?
Darren, how are you?
I'm fantastic. But our own John
Hell no.
from Hazlitt provided the confetti. I gotta give him a cough button, Jim. What do you think?
Cough button would be a good idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Siafe and Norman Wasserman.
Let's do this, yeah.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Powwow with Darren and the Music Man. It's Monday at 6:17, and we are live. And say hello, Darren, to your audience.
Hello, audience. Hey,
That's
Music
it.
Man, how are you this evening?
You're done. You're finished. You're over.
I'm finished.
I'm good. How was your weekend?
My contractual obligations are done.
Oh, done. You said hello, and that's it.
My weekend was good. As you know, last week I was telling everybody I was doing Wreaths Across America.
Mm-hmm.
So
is that Wreaths or Wreaths?
Wreaths.
Wreaths. Not Wreaths.
Wreaths.
Oh, okay.
Wreaths. The two Utes.
And how many people were given a
Well,
wreaths?
actually, it was over 4,000 people showed up. Even though it was raining
people.
and misty and everything else.
That's monster.
We laid over 49,000 wreaths in Pine Lawn. That was 13 tractor trailer loads. It was something to see. It really was. It was spectacular. I took one picture.
So maybe you can send it in here and we can take a look and see.
It's just me and the guys. That's all. Just me and the guys.
That's good. Well, wait, show me. Wait, show it to our audience.
I'll send it to Jim. Jim can put it up.
Is Jim here?
Jim is here tonight, believe it or not.
Great. So is our
Jim,
guest.
You here today?
We have a really monster guest.
We got a great guest tonight. A monster guest is
it's a gentleman that I met a few months back, right? I guess 8-9 months ago, something like that.
Than that.
Yeah, a little bit. And you have a phenomenal business, which I'm going to mention the name of the business. That would be a good idea if I mentioned the name, right? Techworks Consulting.
Yeah, it's Chris from Techworks Consulting. Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Business Hour.
Thank you.
Chris, tell us about Techworks, what you guys do, and how you got started.
So basically what Techworks is an outsourced IT company. What we do is we come in and we help businesses that are struggling with their IT,
have been lax with their IT in the past, and we come in and we usually do one of two things. We either help their current IT staff, if they have a staff in-house, meet the standards and practices and get up to speed with it, because it's very hard for one person to do. Or in other cases, we take over the entire business, and they outsource their entire IT to us, and we become their IT staff because they can't afford, or they have no need for a person on staff to do the work.
A full-time IT person.
Yeah, so and for most clients, we're cheaper than having somebody full-time. Then we cost a little bit less than that, so we're a value to them, and we offer a lot more services than one person can do at that rate. Somebody who's an expensive IT person.
So basically, you're an outsourced IT company.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
So we also do.
You can be an outsourced IT. So I do contract CFO work.
Right. Yeah.
So you're a contract IT company where you can come in, do as little as somebody's needed or as much.
We have
like showing somebody how to turn their media volume off on their phone or not.
Yeah. No, I mean, we do basically everything from T&M contracts, basically call us up as you need us.
What does that mean?
So time and material, sorry, is T&M, we would do, you need an IT person to come in, you have a problem with a computer, you need to do that stuff. But most of our customers are what's called managed service customers, where they pay us a monthly service fee to either to take care of all of their servers or their cloud or their infrastructure.
You're managing their networks. You're making sure
basically everything comes through us. For most of our clients, they just don't want to deal with technology. They want to take care of the stuff that's important to them. So whether it's the copiers, the phone vendors, the desktop on their station, they don't want to have to deal with that stuff. All that comes through our ticketing system and our help desk.
How small a company would you use can come to you?
We have clients as small as 1 or 2 people, and we have clients as large as over 1,100 people. And the issue for us isn't necessarily about the size. We're much more interested in whether or not they want to take care of and use our recommendations and work in the system that we've created, because we feel like we've created a very good system. So we have very successful clients at 2 or 3 people that are very happy with us, and we have very successful clients at 1,100 people that are very happy with us, because we kind of have we have our own kind of secret sauce we put together that makes it easy when you choose to do that, when you try to make things difficult.
So when you come in, you kind of evaluate where everybody's at, right? You see where they're at, and you say, hey, you know what? We need to tweak here. We need to tweak there. Yeah. We need you to change the way you're doing certain things in order for you to be successful. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I believe that most people struggle. When most of the companies that we come into, they're struggling with IT, but they're struggling with the stuff that we would consider the easy stuff, like that you should just, like whether or not they have old networking equipment, they have old routers. The basic infrastructure of the network is always like, I have to restart this device, I have to start this over, or my computer keeps going out because the power goes off, and those kind of things.
Right.
So we have this kind of baseline standard. It's kind of like pouring the concrete for a foundation, that we say, if you pour that concrete, then we can start working on the real issues, the business issues that want to make your business more successful, as opposed to worrying about, that old router that you don't want to change, or an old server that you have that's having problems, or the free antiviruses and things like that people struggle with.
Right.
We go, get that stuff. We have a system. We go in there, we put our stuff in there, we set the baseline for them, and we say, now it's time to start working on moving everybody forward.
Okay, so I want to take a step back.
Yeah, sure.
When you were a kid on the playground, I'm using your question. You were a kid on a playground. Was this something you envisioned yourself doing?
It's funny because one of the things I did do is at first grade, our school had a summer camp for programming, and in first grade I programmed on a PET computer. I recorded it to cassette tape, like the TDK tapes, and I did my first programming back then. And I liked it, but I had a little computer. My father got me a computer after that, and I did some of my own programming. And then I didn't really think. I guess you didn't think too much about it. But when I was in school, we were just talking about this. I would go during lunch, and I would go help out in the computer lab, and I would do those kind of things. So during lunch breaks and stuff, I would go to the computer lab. I was always drawn to in some cases it was AV and technology. For a long time, I took a break from it until I was going as an engineering major in school and doing that kind of stuff.
So you went to school. You graduated high school.
Yeah.
You went to school to become an engineer.
I went to school to become a civil engineer at Northeastern University, and it was a co-op school. So every time, and I would do co-ops. I did a co-op with the Big Dig in Boston. I did a co-op with a Long Island firm down here. But every time I was doing the work for them, they kept having me fix their computers. So at one case, I was down here on Long Island doing work with a local construction company, doing kind of, civil engineering, estimating, learning about jobs, but I kept fixing the network, and I kept fixing the computers, and I kept helping them out with stuff. And somebody said, you're always doing this. You really probably should do computers. And I actually changed my major, switched over to another college, and went for computer sciences.
Okay, so cybersecurity too?
We do.
In the firm?
We do cybersecurity, but we outsource most of it. I mean, we have our own, obviously being an IT provider, not having some cybersecurity best practices and the things that we do to set the baselines. Like, some of those baselines, like I talk about, are the things like putting in passwords and not using the default passwords on routers and those kind of things that companies struggle with. And they're like, oh, I don't know why I got hacked into. Well, you never changed the password on your router. You never did those. So those are the kind of baselines, and that's part of the security. When it gets past that level, in some cases, we don't feel that it's right if we're doing an audit to audit ourselves on our own client. We would bring somebody else in there to say, hey,
why don't you set up a cybersecurity group within your company?
We are actually going to be doing that. It's on our plan, but it's not. It's different. It's a very it's a very different animal.
Specialty,
it is a specialty.
Exactly.
So it is a specialty, but it's something you have to. For what we do, cybersecurity is a much different piece of it. I would much rather partner with somebody. So we don't do voice over IP phones.
It's kind of like if you were a divorce attorney.
Yeah.
You're not going to do bankruptcy.
Yeah.
You're going to partner with somebody to do that.
Yeah, but I'm kind of like. I know a lot of people that do what you do, and a lot of those people also do cybersecurity.
Yeah, it's very successful right now.
So if you're going out there taking someone who does cybersecurity, it's a good possibility that these people are doing what you do too. The trust factor is for them to possibly steal a client or to work their way in.
We haven't seen too much of that yet.
But you've seen some.
No, and I understand that completely. That if we're not, if we're not obviously up to speed, if we're not doing the right things in our organization, I mean, there's. The one thing about managed service providers is there's a lot of us on the island, and of those people that do managed services, there's a handful of kind of really good ones, and most of them are kind of smoke and mirrors. It's very hard to tell the difference sometimes between this contractor or that contractor, just like in a house, or who's the good one or who's the bad one. You got to get lots of referrals. You got to figure out.
If they do good for you, they're good.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes the back end of what's going on is not exactly what they say it is. A managed service provider's job is to keep you quiet all the time, but also not just be quiet. There's got to be stuff that they're doing on the back end. So
before we go farther with that, all right?
Yeah.
I really want to know how we got to Techworks.
Okay.
Okay.
I know, he's good. Bring us back.
Right. So you bring him. So you changed your major in college.
Yep.
Right. You went to computer science. You graduated from college, and then what?
So actually, we actually started kind of while I was still in college. A buddy of mine who was my partner for Techworks, we started it. I was doing some work on the side. In fact, for a client that you had mentioned, I was doing some work for Fred Giacchetti from Delvino Vineyards, who owned a law firm at the time. They brought me in because they had someone doing their IT.
He's a really good guy.
And we've known him for years. Friends of the family have been, and
So he's your supplier.
He's one. He's too expensive for me.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's got a good business.
Yeah, he's got nice stuff. But I drink the cheap wine. He's got the good stuff. So I was doing some work like that, and I was buying computers from a buddy of mine who was also in college with me, who had a business making computers at the time. You didn't go out and buy a lot of computers. Everybody kind of made them. You went to the shows at the Javits Center and these other areas, and you got computers from these shows. So he would build me machines. I'd bring them to a client, and I'd set them up. And at one point, I said to him, we sat at McDonald's up in Oakdale, and I said to him, let's start a business together. Let's you got the computers, and I have some clients, and we'll do the work. So that's how we pretty much started it.
There you go.
And while I was still in college, and then we got more and more work, and we were doing more and more stuff, and worked out like that for a good long time.
How long have you been in business?
It's going to be 17 years.
17 years?
Yeah.
Damn, you look so young.
Yeah, we started this when I was probably 24 years old, 25 years old, so, yeah.
So you started out in college.
Before Techworks,
right?
Yeah.
So when you first graduated college, did you go right into Techworks, or did you?
No. I had a job while I was still in college. I actually was an IT administrator for a. So I started as an IT administrator while I was still in college.
Okay.
So I was running an IT.
So you're getting some practical experience.
I was running for a label manufacturer. I was running their IT. They had about 120 computers. I was brought in to help their programmer that was there running it for the time. So I did that for about 5 or 6 years, while I was on the side still doing the IT stuff.
Right.
For them, I was also doing some clients because that's what you did.
And then when did you finally say, I got to do this full time?
I basically took a leap because I was about 5 years, maybe 6 years as that IT administrator, and I didn't feel like I was going anywhere. I didn't feel like the company was really appreciated what I was doing at the time, and so I just wrote a letter to a letter saying thank you for being, and I just started it, and I had a couple clients, and that was it. I just took a leap, and
took a leap of faith.
Yeah. Fortunately, it worked out.
Where does Tech work? Your area of where do you cover? Manhattan?
We mostly cover all of Long Island. Like, our goal is to be the best company on Long Island right now. I mean, that's our focus. We try to partner locally. We try to so pretty much go from, if we don't have to go under a bridge or a tunnel, that's our goal. We don't want to go, because that's when the extra hour comes in.
So you go into Queens?
We do go. We do a lot of work in Queens. Do a lot of work in Brooklyn. And sometimes we have some clients in Westchester, we have some clients in Manhattan, and we've done work all over the globe. So, but mostly because the client had their headquarters here,
right,
and we were traveling for. So if they're headquartered here, right now we're focusing on. We think there's enough work. We think we can put in a big enough presence that we're not really reaching outside of this area. I love the Long Island area. I've grown up here, so that's where our focus is. So for most part, that's where we go.
Do you have any clients that are national or have locations?
Yeah, personally, for our clients, I've been to Scotland, I've been to Alaska, I've been to. All over the world doing.
Do you
Great
go
Britain.
personally, or
sometimes, depending on for this one client, I was acting as their outsourced CIO for a very large organization. It was over $400 million company. I was there acting outsourced CIO. So before they would go and purchase a company, I'd go fly out there and take a look at what the company looked like.
So you didn't send the same guy that you would send to Brooklyn, overseas.
No,
you sucked that trip up.
I got to go to Scotland.
Yeah, exactly.
Although, I went to Scotland. I went to Scotland for 16 hours the first time I went there. I was on a plane longer than I was in Scotland.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went there. I looked at the company. I talked to the IT person that was there. I got back. I stayed overnight. As soon as in the morning, I left and got back on a plane, and that was it. So I was there for.
So basically saw nothing.
No,
exactly.
But then I got to go back, so it was nice. I spent over a weekend, almost 2 weeks in Scotland, which is nice.
Okay, so Chris, if somebody wanted to get a hold of Techworks, get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Our main phone number is 631-285-1527, and help@maketechwork.com is where most of our tickets come in, and people do that. You can call me, or you can call me anytime. I'd love to take phone calls from new people. Yeah. So, or our website's www.maketechwork.com. So, that's.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to learn more about Techworks. A lot more about Techworks and Chris and what they're all about. The phone lines will be open right after the break at 631
415-1365. Was that a test?
That was a test.
Can't fool me.
631-415-1365. We'll be right back after these messages.
See you soon.
Hi, this is Doug Cormack, Executive Director of Orchard Estate of Woodbury, Woodbury's first assisted living and memory care community. We're opening this summer for seniors who need a little or a lot of assistance with things like taking their medication, meals, or just a maintenance-free lifestyle. Our experienced staff keeps seniors and their families connected to what matters most. Call us today to inquire about our model apartments and discover how Orchard Estate of Woodbury is providing the lifestyle Long Island seniors deserve. Call 516-246-2167. That's 516-246-2167, or visit orchardestatewoodbury.com. Licensure pending.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com, or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show.
Small business owners, are you having trouble growing your business? Do you feel like you're always swimming upstream? Do you feel that daily tension that I can't get ahead and I don't know why? Hi everybody, my name is Darren Sayafi and I'm a business therapist. What's a business therapist? Well, some people call us coaches, some people call us advisors, other people even call us strategists. We take a vested interest in you and your personal development as a person and as a business owner to give you the tools and structure that you need to take it to that next level. So don't wait. Give me a call today for your free consultation and let me show you how you can help yourself.
Welcome back to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man and our buddy from Techworks Consulting, Chris. And
I just want to give
a baseball.
I want to give a couple of shout outs. I want to Mark Rampola is on. Hey Mark, how you doing?
Mark, how you doing?
Some other people from Latip. But I know my cousin John, he's home recovering. He's getting there, but
you're going to give him a heart attack if you start talking about this.
What about the ball?
The ball.
No, he really is in a lot of pain. Like this. You get stress. You get stress balls.
So you want to give him
like
a little more pain.
So this ball is actually helping me through the day. Now this ball,
is it a squeeze ball?
It's a baseball.
Oh, it's a baseball.
It says it says Alonso on it.
Oh,
so
Morning?
The Mets.
Alonso Mourning?
Yeah, no, not Alonso
Mourning.
No, Alonso Mourning was a basketball player. Oh. Yeah, so we had a memorabilia guy on, and he was selling the balls for the Alonso kid from the Mets, right? So my cousin John bought the ball.
Is this before he hit all those home runs?
This is before he got the record and before he got Rookie of the Year and all of that stuff. So he bought the ball fairly cheap. But the sports memorabilia guy delivered the ball to me. So as you see, the ball is still in my possession.
So why did you give it to him?
Because he lives in Jersey. He lives in Jersey. He works in Brooklyn.
Send it to him.
No, I'm not going to send it to him.
Really?
How much?
Some relative
we can make some money off of this thing. But I know, John, it's in good hands. I got it. Keep dropping it.
Also, the stain.
The stain. I know the stain.
There's an olive oil stain
right there. So it's right next to the signature too. So, but John, feel better, buddy, and we'll get.
Balls are in good
hands. Your balls are in good hands.
John, if you're up to it, don't call in tonight because you won't be up to it when we hang up the phone. You'll be upset. I don't want you to be upset.
Yeah. Hi, Eileen. Eileen joined.
Your cousin's killing you. So.
Yep. Eileen joined.
You have services, Chris, in your company. What kind of services do you offer us?
Well, let me ask you this question, because this is part of that service thing. January 15th, I think 14th. It is? 14th.
Yep.
Right? So you already know what I'm talking about.
Windows 7.
Windows 7 is no longer going to be supported by Microsoft.
Yep.
So I would call you to say, hey, I got Windows 7 machines.
Yep.
What do I got to do to upgrade them?
Well, before you answer that, would I have to call you, or is your system aware of what I'm running so you know to call us?
So on the networks that we manage, we've proactively reached out to all of our clients ahead of time. We've already been working on that with them for months or even longer to try to figure out how we're either going to get rid of those machines if they're mission critical, how we're going to segment them from the network, because some of these machines are in manufacturing facilities and other areas where they can't really change the software right away, or there's some reasons why they have to keep them. So, that cybersecurity piece, keeping them safe and keeping them still functioning, or we're out there changing them out, new machines or new operating systems, depending on what's going on. So
I had a client that they serviced ATM machines.
Yes.
And then when XP went out, it was this big rush to upgrade all these ATM
the gas stations
machines
were the same way. They had tons of them in the gas stations.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And the company that I was, doing CFO work for, when they in a 6-month period billed like unbelievably. Their business like tripled, just in the upgrades.
Yeah,
the upgrade work.
Are you still with them?
No, they've moved on. They've grown so much they don't. They need a full-time person. And
so why didn't you create a deal? You should have called me. I would have negotiated for you.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
All right, next one.
That was 3 years ago. But it's okay.
Yeah. So we see most of our clients. To answer your question, we've already engaged with. We did send out emails to. Our members in the HIA and the LATIPs in those areas to try to say we can help them out and at least give them some solutions if they need. And we've had some bites on that. But
is it expensive to upgrade a machine?
It depends on the machine itself. I mean, it could be relatively it could be as inexpensive as just buying the operating system because your machine already supports it. The upgrade is could be $80,
because,
$120.
I mean, up until a couple of years ago, you still buy a machine with Windows 7 on it, right?
Yes, and even a couple of years ago, you could have gotten the Windows 10 upgrades for free too.
Right.
But people didn't want to do that. They wanted to sit on the old stuff, so now that's not free anymore.
So this goes back to that.
Yeah.
When they were giving away their Windows 10 upgrades, I remember a lot of IT guys going, when they were putting new machines in, they were making the clients take Windows 7 because they didn't want to put Windows 10 on it because they said it was too buggy.
Right. Well, I mean, that's always the first version. The operating systems always have little bugs. The IT doesn't want to deal with it. You assume that it's not going to go away that quickly. You're not really thinking that far out into the future. Yeah, I mean, in some cases when it first came out, we still kept clients on there because the software might have even had a problem. It wasn't proven yet.
Right.
But that doesn't. But a lot of problems is not that they did that back then. It's that they had no plan.
Plan, right? Well, and that's what I'm saying is that there was no transition plan.
Yeah. We try to do that for our clients. I mean, when we set up a client, when you're a managed service client with us, we do a 3-year outlook. So that we look 3 years out. We figure that's a good amount of time. We can still kind of predict the technology that's going on there. And say, well, in 3 years, this server's going to be out of warranty. In 3 years, this stuff might come up to date. And we kind of work our way backwards.
What's the average life of a server?
Usually 3 to 5 years is the average life of a server. I mean, we have some that last 7, some that last long. I mean,
And what's the most typical reason why a server goes out of date? Is it runs out of space?
Hard drives usually. Yeah. Usually it's the hard drives that go bad. But you get, when a server gets older, and I mean, it's kind of. It's kind of weird talking about servers now because a lot of our clients aren't even having servers. We're going to cloud. We're doing other side of stuff. We're making decisions, but some people are still holding on to those equipments. But a lot of times, most of the stuff is hard drive failures, but you get other issues. You get fans that start to go or power supplies that start to go. So as you get further out, past 3 or 4 or 5 years, the chances that you're going to have some kind of a catastrophic incident gets higher and higher. So I have servers that are 7+ years old that are still functioning, and the manufacturer's still warranting them, and that's okay. And we'll try to keep them up and running. But the chances that you're going to have an outage gets much higher too. So
do you do websites?
We do not do websites.
You recommend those,
so, like I said, the things that we don't do, we're not a printer company. A copier company, really. Right. We don't do websites. We don't do phones. But we partner with the best people on Long Island. That's our goal. Part of our goal is to partner.
So why is so many MSPs, managed service providers, right? Yeah. Which is really what you guys are, right?
Yeah, we're managed services. We also do infrastructure. So we have an infrastructure division. So that division goes out and does cameras, wireless, wiring buildings. We do a lot of construction. It's one of the areas I came from, so I always liked it a lot. So we do have an infrastructure division that's very focused on that. And then we also have a consulting side of the house too, which is when someone like me comes in, the CIO.
I mentioned to you, I have a business friend that recently bought a building.
Yes.
Right? This was the building.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll come into a place like this and rewire it and fix the networking
get it up to snuff.
Yeah.
So you mentioned telephones before, and I noticed that a lot of MSPs are offering telephone services. Yeah. Is that because all the telephones are going to VoIP?
VoIP has made it easier because we traditionally were a phone company. We used to set up our own phone systems.
Right.
And then we just decided that we didn't want to do on-prem anymore, and we didn't have a hosting company. You know, the thing about the IT world is a lot of stuff that you do or don't know is kind of farmed out through other people. So you got to be careful with that. Sometimes the IT providers, so sometimes they do their own VoIP or they're white labeling somebody else's voice over IP. So it's easy for them to do. If you're my client and I add in a voice over IP phone for that customer, then I might get a little small commission because I've added another piece to that thing, which is fine. I mean, it works. You know, sometimes we do that too, but you need to know. You know, that's why they do it. And sometimes the phone vendors have become managed service providers because they were losing money to people like us that were able to add those services into the network or you know, trying to.
Well, because I mean,
up,
I mean, 20 years ago, phones. You know, you didn't have you had the VoIP, but nobody really used it because it's such a new technology 20 years ago.
Yes.
Do you have a hosting division? Do you host also?
We have our own hosting services that we do, but it's not a part of our business. Most of we do that as a value add to our customers because it's easier for us to manage. It's one of those places that we bring in, but we don't sell it separately as a separate. We do have our own cloud services that we host. So when you say hosting, I guess that's kind of a weird thing because
we're going to websites and things like that.
Not for the website side. Like I said, we do have some hosting for website, but we're not a web designer. Although we do host some websites for some of our clients. From the cloud hosting side, we do have our own cloud network that you know, if a client wants to virtualize their current servers, let's say their servers are going out of date, we'll virtualize those machines and stick them up on our cloud. So that they don't have to go out and buy a new server. They can, you know, it's a lot of times more cost effective. So
it's basically the server is basically housed with you and you maintain it on site.
It's actually not in. We have a data center in a company called CoreSite, which is a big,
so you partner with them.
It's another partner thing. We have a rack there, basically.
Right. So you have a whole rack there with all your servers on it, and they maintain all the servers.
Right, and then this way it's in a air conditioned, cooled, you know, SOC compliant environment.
Is it out of state or in state?
It's in state here, and then there's redundant servers. So actually, there's redundancy in New Jersey, redundancy on the West Coast too. So this way, it's, you know.
This way, there's no outages, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, the goal is to mitigate your risk, you know, from that kind of standpoint. So.
Right. If anybody wants to call in and ask Chris any questions, 631-415-1365. The phone lines are now open.
They're open, wide open.
So, Chris, you started telling us a little bit of an interesting story about you and your partner.
Yeah.
And you know, changes that come about in a partnership.
You don't have a partner now?
Yeah.
No. So it's actually just about a year ago. My partner and I split. We were together for about 15 years. 15? And then things weren't going well, and I probably knew it for about 4 or 5 years. But we went through, I don't know if
Sounds like a marriage.
It is like a marriage, and sometimes it's hard to talk to. And you know, we got to a point where I brought a mediator in to try to actually fix the marriage, and
that was pretty serious.
We brought a mediator in, and then we went through. I don't know if you've ever heard of a business book called Traction. EOS.
Yeah, so, I'm an EOS implementer.
Yeah. Okay. So we implemented EOS in our organization. The mediator gave me the book, and as soon as I read it, I said, "This is it. This is the way I'm running my business from now on." And in that book, the EOS, there's a people analyzer, and by the time we analyzed
right people, right seats.
Yeah. By the time we went through that, and we went hardcore into it. I said, "This is the way I'm doing it," and luckily, my management team was on board with me. The problem is that when we did the people analyzer, my partner at the time scored second lowest out of everybody in the organization once we set up our values and all of that kind of stuff. And at that point, I knew
that's what happens.
Yeah, at that point, I knew, you know, that plus my employees that were key to me saying that, you know, they just didn't like the relationship anymore. I knew I had to change, and you know, it took a little while, but I think it worked out the best for both of us.
Well, it's, you know, I know not closely, but I know some of the people in your company, and everybody speaks really high of you.
That's what
at least to me. You know, maybe they know I got your ear. So
no, I mean, to be honest with you, I am, you know, and during that period of time, I sat down with I can say that fast. A few key people.
There you go.
No, I can't even say it. So anyway, I sat down with them and I said, listen, just give me 6 months. Let me figure this out. And they stuck through me through some really hard times. And I am so, like, it's amazing that the people that I have They take care of the business and like it's their own.
Well,
and
that's the whole
amazing.
part. That's what Traction's all about.
It
right?
is.
Everybody gets ownership, and then per se, they take ownership of what they're doing.
We went from 24 people to 15 people. By the time we were done with the book,
efficiencies,
and during that same period of time, we had the exact same revenue. So we lost no revenue.
And how many people are you at now?
We're at just about 20 right now.
Do you have an HR department?
Yes, we do. We have an HR finance team.
Mm-hmm.
We run through a company called Trinet for our HR. It's fantastic for us. The one thing I've never had to do. We've always had a payroll company, so it's been great to have somebody like Trinet. All our HR goes right through them, and so that's good. That's stuff we like. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have an HR team, and we're actually in the middle of really departmentalizing and divisionalizing the business right now. It's been, this year has been fantastic for us. It's just it's still struggles, but it's just light years. It's just now we're just moving with so much more momentum, So
good for you.
Traction, I recommend that to anybody. It's just
what is it? Educate me. What exactly does Traction do?
It's what I do. I'm a Traction. I'm an EOS implementer.
I thought you.
So it's an entrepreneurial operating system, right? A gentleman by the name of Gino Wickman wrote a book called Traction. Yeah. It's all about how to run your business and run it efficiently, and it gives you step by step how to do it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it really just lays. So all of I've read. I'm a business book reader. I've read almost all the main books that are out there, the E-Myth and the Move the Cheese.
It kind of takes all of them and kind of puts them all together.
It's the first book that I read that didn't just tell me about the philosophy of what was going on with a business, but said, this is how you do it. Yeah. So I look at it, it's really a lot like the E-Myth book, but saying take the E-Myth book and structure it this. On day 1, do this. On day 5, do this. On day 10, do that. And it's very structured that way, so that someone like me, who's generally like disorganized and all, I talk really fast.
Oh, you talked before. Yeah. If you didn't have Shannon keeping you straight, you'd be all over the place.
So generally like that, this helps keep the pace of
that was a shout out to Shannon in case
Shannon.
Shannon, there you go.
That's it.
No, it's great. One of the things that came out of another book that I read was someone like me needs a personal assistant. It's just it really helps me move forward. But that's part of E-Myth, right? Yeah.
Delegate and elevate, right?
Exactly. So it's fantastic having those people that help you out. And doing that process of having a very good pace to your organization makes you stop just focusing here and focusing there and jumping in between, and gets everybody kind of moving in the same direction. I've never been anything. It's just amazing.
It's a way to slow everybody down.
Yeah.
And say, take a breath and let's organize ourselves going forward.
And ways to have conversations that you would never have based off of the core values. Well, why are you doing this? Our core value is not that. Why are you treating a customer that way when our core value says this is how we're going to treat? It's done correctly, which is not always easy to do. It's an amazing.
I know that recently, I guess because of growth, you have moved.
That's correct.
And you moved to a much larger location.
Yep.
Actually, I kind of liked your old site. I thought it was great for traffic and for business.
It was great, but we didn't want to bring clients there. It was old. It'd been in that place for over 10 years. It was beat up, and it was just not very functional for us. It was a great location. I miss my sign being up on Sunrise Highway.
I knew exactly where I was every time I saw your sign.
But you know what? It's not that important for the type of business. We didn't get enough out of it, and we moved into double the space for a very similar price. So
before we get into the new space, you can tell us all about that. How can somebody get a hold of you?
Call us at Techworks, 631-285-1527. Our email, you can email us at sales@maketechwork.com or help@maketechwork.com. Our website's www.maketechwork.com. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to talk more with Chris about EOS and how they're implementing it in their new space.
Yep.
And, where you can get a hold of them. You guys got to come a grand opening that you're going to be doing, right?
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that when we come
next.
back. Okay. So we'll see you right after these messages.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Doug Cormack, Executive Director of Orchard Estate of Woodbury, Woodbury's first assisted living and memory care community. We're opening this summer for seniors who need a little or a lot of assistance with things like taking their medication, meals, or just a maintenance-free lifestyle. Our experienced staff keeps seniors and their families connected to what matters most. Call us today to inquire about our model apartments and discover how Orchard Estate of Woodbury is providing the lifestyle Long Island seniors deserve. Call 516-246-2167. That's 516-246-2167. Or visit orchardastatewoodbury.com. Licensure pending.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com, or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show.
Small business owners, are you having trouble growing your business? Do you feel like you're always swimming upstream? Do you feel like daily tension that I can't get ahead and I don't know why? Hi everybody, my name is Darren Sayafi and I'm a business therapist. What's a business therapist? Well, some people call us coaches, some people call us advisors, other people even call us strategists. We take a vested interest in you and your personal development as a person and as a business owner to give you the tools and structure that you need to take it to that next level. So don't wait. Give me a call today for your free consultation and let me show you how you can help yourself.
And welcome back to the, what's the name of our show? Oh, yeah,
the Business Power Hour.
You're Darren, I'm the music
That's
man.
right.
And this is Chris.
And that's Chris.
That's right,
Double
from
D.
Techworks. So we were starting this conversation, well, the two of you were starting this conversation about
EOS and
EOS,
traction
ABC,
and
DEF, whatever.
Yeah.
So you have recently moved.
It was part of one of our traction goals, yeah.
And you've got this place that's double the size.
Yep.
Financially, you did well on the place. You're paying about the same thing that you were paying for half the size in another location. What are your future plans? Now, you've reached one goal. So when is your next goal? 3 years, 5 years?
So with the EOS model, you set a 10-year goal, and our 10-year goal is to be a $10 million organization. We may change that because we're going to be revisiting our EOS, which is what you're supposed to do regularly to try to see if, because we actually surpassed our 1 year goal, which we were very happy with.
That's
so
great.
therefore,
how soon did you do that from the new year? When did you pass it?
We did it actually pretty quickly. We were our goal for revenue. We actually hit more goal on revenue and profits in a year than what we had planned. So we figured, hey, maybe we have some more traction and we can move forward a little bit faster. So we're bringing in another implementer to help us refocus and do that. So, but the goal is to move out. We'd like I said, at the end of the day, our first goal is to be the premier IT provider on Long Island, and when I mean that, I mean trusted, somebody that right now we have a pretty good reputation. I want to keep that reputation, move it forward, and really focus on the island. And then we're also divisionalizing the organization, where we're separating our infrastructure group from our help desk group, from our consulting group, and maybe adding in some other pieces to that, so that our client, so that we can really focus on each one of those as a business unit. So. But we're really looking to, like I said, it's going to change a little bit. So it's hard to answer that question because a focus day with a entrepreneur, with an implementer, an EOS implementer like yourself, is kind of sometimes changes those goals.
Well, like him, not me.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what happens. Is focus day is really when you sit there and go, oh my God, I didn't realize this, that. But you guys have been doing it for a while now.
Yeah.
So your focus day isn't going to be as much of a shock.
Yeah, no, we're not kicking more people out. Or going crazy. We're assuming most of the right people are the right people on the bus, and moving people in the right seats. But I'm sure some things will change, and I think we when you self-implement the way that we did, you sometimes leave it open to questions that
Well, your interpretation might not be exactly how it was. The intent was
different people, different types of people. The engineer brain versus the the little visionary brain like I have might view the way you implement stuff a little bit differently. So bringing some.
Well, that's why you're the visionary.
Yeah.
Right. That's why you're up
So
top.
people are listening to you now, and as everybody knows, we get thousands of people that are watching you, and you got this company that's growing, and if I'm out there and I'm listening to you and what your plans are, and I'm a young person or any person at all, doesn't matter, with the right experience, do you have positions open if people went to techworksconsulting.com or whatever?
Indeed is the best place to go. We have a lot of ads. I mean,
they can pick out Techworks.
Yep. Yeah, we have our ads up on Indeed.
What about staffing? Don't you use staffing companies?
That's not what we're
I'd love to say that we do, but
he has a card he can give you.
I understand. Actually, the card is right here, but that's not where I was going. I'm looking to save you some money by having people contact you directly.
I'm teasing.
So we have positions open in infrastructure wiring. We have project management. Reception. I mean, we're growing right now.
Anything in the accounting or finance area or human resources?
We don't really have a lot in those areas, but we do have some people that are kind of like someone who would be like a purchasing agent or in between, basically for if a project comes in, they would help research those projects, what they would cost, and do bidding and quoting and that kind of stuff. So not so much.
Isn't that specially trained?
It is specially trained, but it also takes a type of person that likes to do that kind of stuff. I mean,
somebody who likes detail, somebody who likes to pay attention to those little
They like
things.
to shop and they like to look at prices and work with the vendors and put that together in a nice.
But they would have to be knowledgeable of the wording that is used in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, you would need some of that stuff.
Like computer.
But I think one of the things, another thing that EOS kind of does is if you find the right people, you can really, if they're smart enough, you can train them into just about anything. And we found that the case. We use also disc profiling. If you've ever seen that, we do a lot of disc. So we know we do with the people analyzer and the disc profiling. We're able to kind of figure out where people's propensities are, and even, so if we like them, and they're really, we think the right people, we just want to get them in the right seats.
So if you interview people and you like them for a specific job, do you also test them? Do they go through psychological testing or anything?
Well, we'll do a disc profile on them. Like I said, we'll do a disc profile. We have some, questioning depending on like if you're very technical, we might ask you some technical questions. If you're working for the help desk side, how you would either deal with a customer or if you have the ability to answer a technical.
Have you ever run into a situation where you've interviewed somebody on a technical side and they interviewed very well, but they performed very poorly?
Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah, from a and performance from a technical side. Sometimes you have some people that they're very technical, but they're very poor with the customers on the phone, and that happens a lot. Or there some people we've had that were technical and they were good enough, but then we realized they were actually more like salespeople. So they were good technically.
So they knew the lingo and they knew what to say, but they didn't know how to turn the wrench.
We've had some people that, in fact, two of our salespeople right now started out as technicians and now they're in sales because they just had that propensity. That's the way they disked. That's the way they.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that. So yeah, there's some people that could be very good technicians, but they hit that ceiling and you got to move them somewhere else sometimes. Yes.
Do you deal with companies that are ethnically, they speak only Spanish or Chinese or Mandarin or whatever?
We deal with companies that have a lot of, the Child Center of New York is a great customer of ours, and they're all over. And they have, they're all over Queens and lots of different ethnicities. But us particularly, we don't focus on any one. I don't have a Spanish speaking or other languages in our organization. It's just.
Is there anybody in your company that does speak foreign language that you could?
We've asked those in the past, and we have had people in the past that were. We had Portuguese, we had Spanish, we had other Russian languages, but we've never. It hasn't really been a hindrance to us at this point.
No.
For the most part,
there hasn't been a huge call.
Yeah,
for that.
And it also it's if you do get into some of those in the computer side, if you get into some of those, there are people that specialize in Korean and other areas.
Right.
The keyboards are different, the computers are different, the key the layouts are different. So you really it would open up a whole different training can of worms for us to do.
So it's basically something you want to stay away from because it's not something you're going to run into.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge market, that doesn't know speak English or know English, at least to an extent that we can deal with them. So it's not a very large market at that point. So yeah, I mean, it hasn't really come into play right now.
So you achieved your level, your goal. Financially, you surpassed what your goals were, and now you're sitting down again with this. What do they call? What do you call
it? EOS implementer.
You're an implementer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're meeting with him beginning of the year?
Yes.
To plan out the next year.
Yeah, so part of EOS.
And the future.
He's going to do his focus day, and then 30 days later, he's going to come back and do his VB1, his Vision Building Day 1, his Vision Building Day 2, 30 days after that, and then he gets into his quarterlies.
Yeah. It's a very paced,
it's a very paced thing. You get 30 days in between. You get all the things that you need to accomplish between the first meeting and the second meeting done. So
good.
Gives them a lot of time.
It's like I said, if anybody's got if you're struggling in a business, and I've handed this to many people, that it's a book that changed my business, no doubt about it. So
it's a good book, Traction by Gino Wickman. All right, and if anybody wants any, just contact me. I'm an EOS implementer. I can help you out with that.
That's awesome.
And where do they reach you?
They can reach me at 631-721-4347 or 844-987-CBMS.
Cool.
You like that, right?
What do you got coming up for yourself?
So we're going to have a big grand opening in the new facility.
When's that taking place?
So we're in Ronkonkoma, 760 Kohler Avenue. We're just right off of Vets Highway in Ronkonkoma.
Okay.
It's a great, easy location to get to. It's easy up Sunrise Highway to the airport, and so I'll be on the radio. I do a radio show every once a month with Jay Oliver. So I do that once a month. I love doing that. That's another big thing. And then
you got that voice.
Yeah. I got a face for radio. I know.
I got a face for radio.
So So I mean, that's always the fun stuff that we get to do. We're always out in the community. One of our goals is we started a thing called Techworks Gives Back.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always trying to do the charity events, anything we can do out in the community. It's part of our mission statement.
We talked about that when I first met you. About fundraising, and can you give some examples of some events or things that you got coming up?
We recently did the Patchogue River cleanup. We've done. Our guys we've been all over. We did the Long Island Cares. We've done the hunger drive with them. There's so many things that we're either giving to or working on. Our guys, people in the organization take to it. They're all doing their own charities, and I'm supporting their charities. We actually give PTO days. So if you go out, we give 2 PTO days a year for you to go and work with a charity of your choice. So it's just very important to us, and there's a lot of charities that we do work with. We were featured in an article for one of our industry magazines for the work that we've been doing. So specifically with the Patchogue cleanup and some other events. Yeah.
What's the name of your radio program?
Well, it's on Jay Oliver's morning show. We do a technology spotlight, basically.
Okay, so
he's on the show. He does a show every morning on Long Island Business News Radio, 103.9. I think it's 103.9. It's out of the airport in MacArthur Airport.
And you're there every day?
I do it once a month with him.
Right in the terminal, right? Right by the baggage area.
Sit in the terminal and watch all the people go by. The 3 people in the morning out of there. Yeah. No, yeah, some people, it's funny because you're like...
Did they start the construction yet at the airport? Weren't they making that place bigger?
They're doing the Ronkonkoma hub.
It's on the other side. Yeah, that's on the other side.
They're going to be connecting finally. Why would you build a railroad station next to an airport and have no way to get between the two? So they're going to be building that stuff. It's there's a lot. That's one of the reasons why we moved into Ronkonkoma, because we feel it's the next big hub. The HIA, which I'm a member of the HIA.
That's the
Hobach Industrial Association. Right. And I'm a co-chair for the Technology for Business Committee for them. So I've always been a member, and it's always been a great, if you don't know, it's the actually second largest industrial park in the country. Mm-hmm. The only one that's bigger is Silicon Valley. Yeah. So from dollars and jobs and revenue that come out of that area, it's only second to Silicon Valley.
Well, they just built the housing complex right by the train. to keep the younger people
Yeah.
out here on Long Island, you still got to pay $27,000 or $3,000 for an apartment.
crazy.
That's
It's insane.
One of the things we've been talking and working on is a lot with stuff with Stony Brook and other people that I'm very friendly with. Is how do we keep kids on Long Island?
Well,
how do
that
we
was
keep
one of the
them there?
reasons they were going to build this, but how are they going to afford to live there?
Most of these kids, they can't make enough money to go out and get their own apartment.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, because I remember I'm 25, I owned a house.
Right.
It was very different back then than it is now.
A lot of it's also like so if you take Stony Brook University, for them to do to work with a local company like Zebra, or it was Computer Associates at the time, or some of the local areas, they had to get in a car. They had to sit in traffic for an hour to do an internship with a very good company like Zebra. I mean, huge company. They'd have to sit in the car for an hour. They'd have to pay for the car, to pay for the gas, pay for the rent, to drive over to Zebra to go get that job if they lived up in Stony Brook. Or they could hop on a train and be in Manhattan in 120 minutes and play on their phone the whole time.
Right.
So that's why we can't keep people here, because there's no way to get them from these schools to the Hop Hog Industrial Association to Ronkonkoma.
It's not only that; it's just the cost of living here is just.
That's
absurd.
the big.
My
that's
son,
the big key.
right? My son moved to North Carolina.
Yeah,
because he's got a 2-bedroom apartment. He's paying like $560 a month.
No, I mean,
and
we're fighting the good fight here to try to keep people and to
crazy.
try to pay good salaries. But the truth is someone who's in the IT field, you're not going to make that much more money here than you are going to make in North Carolina, and you're going to have a little bit easier life. I mean, it's just there's lots to love about. I mean, I love Long Island. I'm a boater. I love the area. But it's tough to live here. I mean, it's something we're trying to work on. But do
you have a yacht?
A yacht? I don't know. It's
20. Well, he has a house with a driveway and horses.
28 driveway. I have a driveway.
No, circular.
Boat, which technically
circular driveway.
Chris, I have a huge house with a circular driveway, and I have 3 horses. What else do I have?
And he has a racetrack.
A racetrack.
For cars.
Every week it gets a little bit bigger.
Because you've also surpassed your goals for the year.
I also surpassed.
Technically, my boat by standards is a yacht. It just hits that mark.
It is what you
over
think.
26 feet, it's a yacht.
So, Chris, one more time, let everybody know how they can get a hold of you, how they can get Techworks and get involved with Techworks.
Well, usually, the way we start is, we usually come in and do assessments on clients, and we let them know how we're doing, and it's, you can reach out to me, 631-285-1527, www.maketechwork.com, help@maketechwork.com, all those good ways.
All right, so my friend, I want to thank you for being on the show tonight.
That was quick.
I told you it was going to fly by.
I need more time.
I tell you got to come back. So,
Oh, now, actually,
didn't I say?
Be months before we could be able to get to
You guys are getting so big, I can't.
We're doing okay. We're doing okay because of
right.
people like you and the people that watch the show. You make it interesting.
Thank you.
So that's it.
Thank you
That's
guys. Thanks
what it's
for
about.
having me.
We appreciate it.
It's great. Thank you.
Thank you,
Happy
Chris.
holidays. All the best to you.
Yes,
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too. All right. Where's your cough button?
He's got it.
So what do you got? There you go. Yeah, it's not plugged in. It's a lot of good it's doing us now.
It's the end of the show.
So we got one more show this year.
That's
right?
it. Just next Wednesday, 2 days from now.
2 days from now.
And then that's
Wednesday
it. I
night,
hope
we'll be on
everybody
that show.
tunes in. It's a special show. Got a real special guy and some new stuff coming.
New stuff coming next year.
January 8th we'll be back.
January 8th we're going to come back with a vengeance, and just wait. We're already booked through April. We got guests lined up all the way through
you were
April.
surprised when I told you
Well,
that.
no, I'm not surprised because I think, what was it, January last year? You had all the way through June. So,
we're almost there.
We're almost there. We're getting there. You're a little behind. You got to pick it up.
I'll have to pick up the pace.
You'll have to pick it up a bit.
Thank you.
So if anybody wants to be on the show, you can contact me at 631-721-4347 or contact Norm at
631-698-9696. We're going to see you on Wednesday.
Hopefully,
It's supposed to get a storm
supposed
tonight and into Wednesday.
Well, from what I saw, the storm
Tuesday.
is going to kind of just stay north of us.
Well, hopefully.
So northern Jersey, Connecticut, all of that's going to get some snow. We're supposed to stay dry. We may get some flurries. So keep our fingers crossed on that.
And everybody have a good couple of days,
Yep.
and we'll see you Wednesday at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. right here on the Village Connection Network. Good
night, everybody.
this lonely man, alone on the river with my heart in my hand. The conversation, they're all dead. The lines cut off inside my head. I left here like a broken man, with no idea of where I stand. Oh, my mind clear. Oh, I shed my tears. Oh, now baby, I was just waiting here while you moved on. Security, this newfound freedom you kept from me. The sound of all your loaded guns, this heartbreak war has just begun. The sound of all your loaded guns, this broken man has already won. Oh, my mind.